We're approaching the end of arguably the most unusual semester in academic history. And as we complete exams and papers, I want to wish all students the best, especially our students who will be completing their ODU journey with us. It's appropriate that this is also the week in which we've celebrated the feast of St. Catherine of Siena. She's been actually very special to me personally. Some years ago, before I came to ODU, Jen and I actually visited the city of Siena in Italy, where St. Catherine was born and raised and lived, and learned a lot about her. And I really do sense her spirit here at Ohio Dominican University. Thanks, first of all, of course, to the Dominican Sisters of Peace and the culture that they have helped create here at ODU. And I'd just like to encourage all of us, whatever our faith tradition, to learn a little bit more about her. Sometimes we think of saints as otherworldly people that don't relate to us. And frankly, I sometimes think that way as well. You know, I want to be down to earth, practical. We have to make a living. This is the real world. Saints seem otherworldly. But St. Catherine was different. In fact, some people have called her a proto-feminist because she was tough. She was a young woman, but she was tough, and she spoke truth to power. And she dealt with a lot of difficult things, not least of which was a pandemic. The Great Plague of the 14th century hit Europe just as she was born. She survived, but a number of her family members did not. And through her life, the plague recurred. Yet she retained her focus. She initially spent a lot of time in solitude with mystical experiences of God. Now, that may be hard for us to relate to, but yet we have this opportunity to think about what does it mean to really be in solitude, the difference between loneliness and solitude. And then she also was very much called to an active life of service to the poor and to the sick, helping those who had been afflicted by the plague. So she's also a very much a relevant saint for our times, and a very down-to-earth person in spite of her mystical, otherworldly conversations with God, because God is down to earth. That is the essence of the Christian experience, and it's not so much for just so-called holy people, it's for all of us. And that is what I take away from St. Catherine most of all. So when we're at home alone, and we have the tendency perhaps to feel at a loss, what will the future bring? St. Catherine is a great model to relate to, because not only did she live in joy, but she also lived a lot of time in desolation, great discouragement. Just like, for example, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, whom everyone adores, thinks is wonderful. She's recently declared a saint, but she spent years in desolation and discouragement, wondering where God was in her life and in the world. And if we get to those points, we have to rely on one another. We have to rely on our friends, on our family, on counselors, on our teachers, anyone who can help reconnect us with that font of truth that is the Spirit inside each of us. So as all of our students go forth either for the summer or for the next journey in their lives, I just encourage all of us to hold on to that Spirit within and hold on to those companions who can remind us of that Spirit. I wish you all the best. God bless. Peace.